don't be the first person to tell yourself no.
Yes.
Like, oh, I could never do that. Why would they let me lead a workshop? Why am I telling myself no before they do? They could say yes. They need me. They need you.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, they need people like us who may have that delusional confidence because we're passionate about it. We are coming to you live from Boise, Idaho at the KIT Craft and Commerce event. And this has been such a fun week. We just wrapped up the conference and we wanted to share some of our takeaways. I am a podcast producer and
I am a business and money coach.
So we have different perspectives on the conference, and we both had the most amazing time. Obviously, since we're in different industries, things stand out to us more than others. So we wanted to share our takeaways. So we'll introduce ourselves first.
So I am Jillian Minter. I am a business and money coach, and I help entrepreneurs grow their business, make more money without working harder. So I work with the energy of money. Think about the way you talk about money, the way you act with money, how you manifest money, not the actual numbers, not the strategy. Yes, that's a piece of it, but 80% is energy.
And I'm Hayleigh Hayhurst, the owner of Espresso Podcast Production, and I help businesses and brands start strategic podcasts that will actually grow their business instead of just creating more work for them. So Craft and Commerce is from KIT, which is an email service provider. We both use it, and that's how we found out about this conference. And this weekend is all for creators. They're bringing in masterminds, they're bringing in keynote speakers, workshops, all tailored towards creators, which I thought was really cool, how there's so many people creating different types of content. I met a lot of food bloggers. I met a lot of business coaches. I met a few people in the mindset space. I met a lot of podcasters.
YouTubers. Oh my gosh, so many YouTubers.
I've never met this many
authors.
YouTubers. Yes. It's been like a fun.
Yeah, and it brings such a dynamic group of people. So like usually the stuff I go to is women centered.
Sure.
But like there were creators that like I sat next to and chatted with a guy who has a YouTube for like DIY, like building a shed, and he's gonna show people how to build the home from scratch, and like
wow,
people that I would never talk to, but that are also creators.
Totally. Yeah, I find that too. In Seattle, I go to a lot of women events. But it's interesting to see what other.
But I guess men are okay, right?
We sometimes.
They have their moments.
They have their moments.
Yeah.
But no, that's a good perspective, how like it is very different than the events that we go to. And I think having like these studios here really makes it easier to be a creator too.
Oh gosh, yes.
Like, can you imagine coming in here and like recording your course again?
Oh my gosh. No, I want to do that so badly. I'm so not allowed to spend my time doing that, but I want to come to here for a week, re-record everything, and it would be so cool. So, Hayleigh, what are your biggest takeaways?
Okay, that's such a good question. So, I met a lot of podcasters this weekend, and obviously everyone here is a creator in some sort, and that's why they came, whether it's newsletters, social media. Met people with large followings, small followings, like all across the board. It has been fun to see all the different ways that people create content, and how I think someone should create content may be different than how they are creating content. There's just different ways to do it, right? People this weekend were talking about how their newsletter makes them so much money. Great. I want my newsletter to make me money.
Right?
Podcasting is like the avenue that I picked. But it's not the avenue that everyone, and it makes sense to me. I'm like, obviously everyone should have a podcast. Like everyone here should have a podcast, but they found their avenues too.
Yeah. That's so interesting that you say like it all works, because that's kind of what I tell all my clients about strategy is like it all works.
Yeah.
Like you can do any of these things, they all work. They work for you with your energy when you believe in them and you're fired up about them. So what's cool, I think, about this conference specifically is seeing all of the creators who really love what they do. Because the thing about creators is like no one falls into this and is like, oh, I'll just do this because it's easy, or like it takes a lot of work, a lot of drive, a lot of ambition. So it's people who are really fired up and care about what they do, which is always really intoxicating, inspiring, like fun to be around.
Yeah. I think the other takeaway I have is how there's different levels to this, right? And we were talking about this earlier because I went to a podcast monetization and growth workshop, and it was interesting to see what he recommends that would work. Great ideas. It was all about funnels and that stuff that I help my clients with. But the level he's at is so different than the level everyone else is at that, well, yes, it was valuable. It was like not relevant 100%. And it made me think back to like my clients when I'm helping them start a podcast, because I'm obviously at a level that they are not at because I've been doing this for 10 years now.
Yeah.
And sitting in that workshop, I was like, this guy doesn't know, like he knows what he's talking about, but he doesn't know his audience. And I think it's going to make me go back into my business and make sure that I am working at the point that podcasters are at when they want to launch.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Because I'm working with so many people that want to launch a podcast. I'm like, do this and this and this and this. And I think I'm doing a good job at talking to them where they're at. But I just want to make sure, because I'm sure he thought he was doing a good job too. And it just like missed the mark a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I think it's so good to have that self-awareness. And also because you're self-aware, you do step out and kind of look at things, because like you're someone who invests in coaching.
Yeah.
Right. So it means you look at the way you think, the way you operate. So like, of course, my answer is this guy needs a coach. Like he needs to step outside himself and see and analyze how he's serving his people.
Totally.
Right. So
Totally.
I'm curious to see what comes up for you when you do that, but I think
yeah,
it's a good practice, and I think you're going to be closer than your experience in that workshop.
That's true. Yeah. I mean, like I said, he had really good advice, but I went up to him after and I said, okay, when did you start doing this? When did you start monetizing? And he was like, years in and hundreds of thousands of downloads in.
Which is like so not relatable for someone like me.
Right.
Or who could have easily gone to that workshop. I just chose something else. But like, he probably would have lost me then. Like I probably would have walked out and been like, oh, I should have chosen the other workshop.
Right.
Interesting, right?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like most people don't get hundreds and thousands of downloads on their podcast.
Like we're all manifesting that. And
of course.
Not yet, but if you leave a review, it will help us get there.
Thank you.
Technology has come so far. Like the landscape is changing so quickly. What are your takeaways on what's happening in podcasting?
There are a lot of AI tools now that we should be utilizing. Like I'm never one to be like, don't use AI. I think that the more we push out content without a plan, it's not going to convert. It's not going to like do what it needs to do.
What's the point of it?
Right. And I find that even one of the keynote speakers was talking about this, how things take time. And we hear like the bro marketing, like make it faster, do it faster. And I think with AI, you can probably get like 25 podcast topics by just one Claude search or ChatGPT search. But is that going to actually work for your clients?
Yeah.
For your audience? I mean, when I was walking to coffee today, I was reflecting on why people actually want a podcast. And I don't think anyone's like, oh, I just want to put more content out there.
Yeah, no one wants to make more content just for fun.
Exactly. And the other thing I was realizing was like, people don't just want downloads. That means nothing.
What's the point of that?
Exactly. And so I think it is a little bit backwards of AI is making it easier to make a podcast, push out content, create reels, whatever. But like, at what point is it too much?
Yeah. So this is so relevant to business, because something I see with people who are scaling their business is they get to a point where they're not in their business. And do you remember that girl? You sent me a reel of a girl on Instagram.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
We'll leave it anonymous for her privacy. But Hayleigh sent me this reel and she was like, oh my goodness. And she tagged me and she said, you can really help this woman. And I commented a few times and was following her and she just never responded. But basically she has a business coach. She's investing in a business coach. And every month she's coming up with the same problems. And so if you look at all the numbers and you look at her conversion and what's happening, it's very clear to me that no business coach on Zoom is going to figure out what's wrong with her business. What's happening in her business is she's not in her business. Yeah. She needs to go into her business like a client and experience it. And this happens all the time in big corporations, right?
Totally.
Have you ever been at like, oh my goodness, I had an issue with Alaska Airlines recently. Oh, you did too. and went to the help desk, and the way it was organized, I was like, the CEO has not flown and had to go to the help desk in so long. And I think that this is one of the most important things when you're growing and scaling a business. And the bigger your business is, the more important is like, are you acting like a client in your business? So like you're saying, what does my audience want?
Yeah.
What does my listener actually want?
Right.
Every business owner needs to know that. Like, when was the last time you stepped out of your business and walked through it as a client? Like recently,
Right.
I did my own intensive.
That's
And
right, yeah.
and I was like, oh, you know what? I had not used one of my tools in a while, and I was like, oh, I know how to make this better now. This could be clearer, right? And you can't do that unless you step back.
Totally. Did you see that pop up at the conference? Like any one of the workshops? Because we all went to different workshops.
Yeah.
But, like, what is your takeaway from that?
So I think for the workshops that I went to, there were some that were like really amazing and some that were okay. And for me, it was the people who were really successful at their workshops, in my opinion, really gave value. And it's like, are they putting themselves in their audience's shoes and thinking like, oh, what would this person, how can I get them to walk away and be like, that was the best workshop? Like, I got so much, I would have paid X amount for that workshop. And I think there were people that did more of that than others, like people who gave away paid products. Like Ellen Yin's was amazing. And then it was like, yeah, it was like, oh, and here's this thing I sell for $37 and it's free right now.
Yeah.
And it was like really tangible. It was practical. It was also really simple.
Yeah.
Like what she taught me, I can go use that right here. It will take me 15 minutes to execute it. And I think that's something else as like a business owner. When you're trying to convert people and get people in your audience, how can you give them a quick win? Because that's what makes them want to stay around.
Totally.
Yeah.
You know, the other thing that I wanted your perspective on is throughout this weekend, I have met some people who like show up more confidently than others. And obviously, coming to an event like this, we're here to learn things. We're here to hopefully get clients or make good connections or find people to collaborate with. And I know that that's something that you talk to your clients a lot about is how to show up or like, maybe not that, but like
how you carry yourself.
Exactly,
Yeah.
Exactly. And I want to hear like throughout this conference, have you noticed anything?
Yeah, I think one of the things, I had this conversation actually just recently, like when we got to this studio with someone out there, and they said, he asked me, he said, what is your most unexpected takeaway? And so he gave his unexpected takeaway, and it really sparked mine, which was, I can do any of these workshops. I could do any of these keynotes, right? And we know that I don't lack, it's a joke, like one of the presentations was delusional confidence. And I was like, check. Yes. Because like, that's how you manifest. You're like, yes, I can do it. And so when I told him like, well, I think I could give a workshop, I was even thinking like, and by the end I was like, I should pitch for a keynote. I can absolutely do this. And what he said to me was so true. And it was like, well, I think 75% of the people in the room could do it. And I was like, exactly. Like no one is special. That's what I'm always telling people. Like my clients and me who are like getting insane results, we're not special. We're just doing it. Like it's accessible to everyone. So I guess for me, it's like put yourself in the room where you're around amazing people because like that's how we grow. And most importantly, like put yourself out there, shoot your shot, do the thing because they have to say yes to someone giving the keynote. Why wouldn't they say yes to me? They need a good podcast workshop. Why wouldn't they pick you? Like you can do it. The only difference between the people on the stage and me, maybe they make more money. Maybe they have a bigger audience, but like they also pitch themselves. Their skill set, they may be further along than me, but their skill set isn't any better than mine. They're not any smarter. There's not some secret they know. Like they may have, of course, they're like, may have a lot more followers. They may have figured things out, but like that's not what moves the needle. It's like they just put themselves out there. They're willing to fail. One of my favorite things I heard this weekend was like, fail publicly. I love that because I think like we all need those ego deaths. This is something I hear a lot with my clients. They're like, well, what if people see me fail and I'm doing poorly? And it's like, nobody cares. Like people care about themselves.
Yeah.
They're worried about themselves. So like go do it. And once you do it a few times, you just don't care anymore. So I think for me, that was, it was really refreshing and inspiring to know that like I can do these things and also everyone can.
Yeah.
Like so just put yourself out there and put yourself in the position to do it.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, 75% of the room probably could, but how many are going to pitch
Yeah, right?
right?
Mhm.
That's interesting. I think my favorite thing I heard was from Gabby's speech, and she said, don't be the first person to tell yourself no.
Yes.
Like, oh, I could never do that. Why would they let me lead a workshop? Why am I telling myself no before they do? They could say
Yeah.
yes. They need me. They
But
need you.
yeah, exactly.
Like they need people like us who may have that delusional confidence because we're passionate about it. Like we could teach it. And maybe, yes, 75% of other people could too. But if we're going to be bold enough to actually put ourselves out there and do it, like they do need us.
The only person that you can ever count on to have your back 100% of the time is you.
Yeah.
So train yourself to have your back.
Yeah.
Like I made a joking post about this the other day of like, it was like, oh yeah, business owners always like their own post from their personal account. And I'm like, I like my post from my own account. If I don't like my post, who's going to like my post?
Yeah.
Right? Like I have to be my biggest fan. I have to know that like I can help people, I can make them more money, I can solve their problems because why the hell would you give me your money to help you if
Yeah.
I don't believe in me?
That's so true. That's so true. And I think, like I was asking you, is if someone doesn't show up like that, they're doing themselves a disservice, but they're also doing their potential clients a disservice too.
Yeah, and I think that's a really important way to look at it is we're always thinking, not always, but as human beings, we tend to think about ourselves and like don't make it about you. It's not about you. You didn't start your business for you. Of course, you want time freedom and you want to be able to, I don't know, drink spritzes on the beach instead of going to an office. But you also serve people. And who is going to miss out if you don't show up and do what you are meant to be doing, what you can be doing? If you don't serve, if you don't sell, if you don't put yourself out there, all the people, look at all the testimonials you have. Look at all the people you've helped. Look at all the impact you've made. Look at all the jobs you've created, whatever it is. Those don't exist. They don't exist if you don't put yourself out there. So,
so true. That's so true. I think this has been a fun conference.
Yes.
We're
Oh my
coming back
gosh.
next year.
Oh my goodness. That's a different story. We are coming back next year. And also, we're both going to pitch ourselves and see what happens.
We are. I think it's also interesting. One of the last things, I mean, I don't know if you have more questions after this, but back to how anything can work if you believe in it, the ways we network are different.
Oh my gosh, they're so different.
So different. And I think, great, it works for both of us, right? I want to make my way around the room. I want to talk to as many people as I can. I want to get their social media. And I love a good follow-up. And my goal is to get them either on my podcast, on a call with me. Who knows? Like, I think that the more people I meet, the better. That's my way.
Yeah. And you met probably at least like 6 times as amount of people, maybe 10 times. Like, and then I'm not as outgoing as you. I don't love like small talk and talking to the stranger. You could talk to anyone.
Talk to a wall.
I absolutely can. And I make myself do it. I could also sit at home alone during a pandemic for years and be like, this is cool. I don't have to talk to anyone. So the way I did it, I was really intentional. Like, cause I think I approached probably more keynotes than you, right?
Probably.
So like, and it doesn't mean they're, again, bigger, better, but like, I was like, oh, okay, I like Gabby. I'm just going to ask her to be on my podcast. That's what I'm doing today. That's happening. Yeah. Or there's some people that, I'm part of their memberships or their programs. And I'm like, I want intentional conversations with them. I want to go deeper. I like more intimate, like even with the way I have a friend group, right? I have like closer relationships. I'm just better at that. Of course I am. I'm a coach. That's what I do, right? Yeah. Like I go deep with people. So I think we just approach that differently, but it also helps each other because I think one of the most important things you can do with like business friends, with your networks, is find the people who are going to say your name when you're not in the room. And we both know that we'll do that for each other. So we get the benefit of both, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think, it's different, but it both works. Like we're both successful and like met people and are going to have follow-up. And all these collaborations. And I don't know, I thought that was cool.
It would be so fun to, I don't know how we would do this, but like tally the dollars of that.
Yeah.
Like between this year and next year, there's like no way to know, right? Because if people follow my podcast and they refer it to a friend, whatever, but it would be so interesting to see like how much money it gets you from each perspective. I bet you it like all comes out in the wash.
I'm sure it does.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I don't know. I think that before I started networking so much, I was like shy and I didn't really know what I was doing and I felt weird walking up to people. And now I'll just see a group of people and I'm like, hey,
totally.
How are you? You know, like I don't mind doing that, but
yeah,
I just think it's cool how many different ways of networking there are, content creation, how many different ways there are to podcast, and just the approaches can be anything, but still work.
Yeah, because it's the mindset. And I think that's like also the other thing that I see all the time, but especially in a room full of entrepreneurs, is like I'm thinking back to the woman who asked a question in the podcast workshop. And her question absolutely could have been answered and was answered by the presenter. And also, I was like, oh, that's a mindset thing. Like, she needs a mindset coach. Not needs, but I think it would be helpful for her, right? So I think that your mindset around networking is like, this is the way I like to do it, and it works for me. And I'm like, this is the way I like to do it. The universe will have my back, even if I don't talk to as many people as Hayleigh, right?
Right.
And so I just think that's like always a key takeaway is your mindset sets you apart from the others. And if you look at the people who met a lot of people, who were on the stages, who were what I would call successful this weekend, they had that. They had the right mindset. They had the right energy.
Totally. Before I met you, I would always look for like how to do this the best or like directions to follow or tutorials or whatever. But from a coach, you know, you're not going to be telling someone exactly what to do. Yeah. I thought that's so interesting.
Yeah, because that's a consult. Like that's consulting, telling someone what they could be doing, how they could be doing it. But if you want to be successful, if you want to be aligned, if you want to have the best results, doing it and checking in with yourself is always the right answer. And so like, to me, that's the best thing you can do with yourself is like, what do I want to get from this event? How do I want to network? What would feel really good to me? And then that's the answer. You don't need to talk to anyone else about it, right?
Yeah.
And then also, I guess the other fun thing is like, if you're a kit user or if you're not, you absolutely should be. Is there so many fun things coming out with kit right now? Oh my gosh. So exciting. Of course, technology and AI is moving at like a lightning speed. What are you most excited about with what's coming out with kit?
Okay, so after the first keynote speaker, Nathan Barry came out and told us about all of these things. And I almost felt like it was like when a new iPhone is coming out and they're like, look at this and this and this. And I was like, this is so cool. But the one I'm most excited, well, there's two. I started hosting events for podcasters, and Eventbrite is where I am inviting people. That's where I'm selling my tickets. And getting everyone from Eventbrite to Kit is a thing.
It's a challenge.
And now they have an
integration.
So it automatically, and I set it up. I went to the Kit Genius Bar and they set it up for me. And now everyone that signs up for my event is already on my email list. And that's amazing. I don't have to do it anymore. The other one that I'm super excited about is I upgraded to the pro account because then now you can see your, email subscribers. I think the more email subscribers you have, it's harder to tell who's actually on it. But they're going to show you all of this data about them. How are they getting it? I don't know. They're showing like where they live. Are they married? Are they, all these certain types of a person.
What's their social reach?
Yeah, that's huge of like who is the most influential people on your list. I thought that it was really cool for when I do host more events, I can see who is in Seattle. Or if I'm looking for a speaker for my event or looking for someone to do a collaboration with, if they're already on my email list, they want to hear from me. And I mean, my email list has, I think, 620 people. It's like not the biggest list in the world, but I don't know who all 600 people are. So I think that's worth the upgrade for sure, just to see the types of people that are on my list and the types of people my content is connecting to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. What about you?
I think for me, Kit has upgraded their landing pages. They know that they suck. They literally were like, "We heard you. You said they're the worst. They are the
They
worst."
put it on the screen. They were like, you are the worst.
Yeah, we heard you when you said you are the worst, and they were the worst, and now they're beautiful,
Yeah.
and you can update them, and the templates are really nice. Oh my gosh, there's also a new integration where you can, there's an MCP where you can analyze your newsletter with Claude. So something that I started doing is like every month I am analyzing my newsletter. So like Claude's pulling all the data and saying, oh, these are the best open rates. This is what people want to hear from you. Oh, this got a lot of unsubscribes. This is where people are clicking. What's resonating. So I think I really like that because I like tools that make our life and business easier. I like things that save us time and money. And that's the best way to use AI. Like, yes, we all know you can write a newsletter with AI, but analyzing your metrics and using it kind of like as a business coach to go back and forth with, I'm really excited for that. That's been really helpful.
That is cool. And that kind of goes back to what I was saying before of like, we want to pump out more content, but like if we don't know if it's actually working, then
what's the point?
What is the point? We're wasting our time. So
totally.
You're gonna have to show me how to do that.
Yes, I will. I'll help you set that up.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But this was such a fun
I know, it's such a good recap and so fun to go with you and meet so many people, and it was great.
Yeah. Like I said, we'll be back next year. But
yes.
Thanks for doing this podcast with me.
Yes, thank you. It was so fun.
So fun. All right, so check out both of our pages. Mine is Espresso Podcast Production.
Mine is Jillian Minter. And then we'll see everyone at KIT in 2027. I'll be on stage giving a keynote.
And I'll be giving a workshop.
It's going to be so fun. I'm manifesting that right now.
Yes, I'm so excited. See you next year.